Hey, Tanya. How you doing, darling? Welcome, guys. Welcome back with Cooking with Chef Ken. Good to see everybody. How we doing? Hello, 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 everybody. How we doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Get in, make some room. Let's have a good time. Hello, Toya. Hello, Ellie, Ariana. How we doing, Ari? Good to see everybody. Welcome back. Janika, how you doing? What's going on, Jersey? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in here. Hope one day you're going to cook with us. Hope to see y'all. Come on in. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Sound like a preacher, didn't I? I know. What's going on? What's going on, Sharakia? Good to see everybody today. Hope everybody's had a wonderful hump day and getting ready for a good class with some great food. Come on in, everybody. Tiffany, how you doing? For those who are cooking, please make sure you have your oven on 400. Hey, Leticia, first class. Congrats. You will enjoy it. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Oscar, ¿qué pasa, papa? Thank you, cousin. Trying, switching it up a little bit. Oh, Shrek, he brought a friend today with a first class. Appreciate that. Yeah, Leticia, we're going to get it down. Once again, if you are cooking, please make sure your oven is set on 400. And make sure we are ready to go. Oven is set on 400. I got 2 pans. Chef didn't prep, so now he's blanching his green beans. I got my mise en place sitting out. My breadcrumbs, my eggs, my pecans. For those who are using bourbon today, I have flowers, shallots, and garlic, fresh rosemary, and we're ready to rock and roll. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Want to make sure everybody understands that I need your ovens on 400. Lord Dower checking in. How you doing, darling? What's going on, cousin Mark? Welcome back. It's been a while. I'm going to give about 3 or 4 more minutes and we're going to get started cooking. Make sure your ovens are set on 400, everybody. Mr. Boykins, welcome, welcome, welcome. A lot of new faces today. I love it. Oh, man. A lot of new faces. Green beans are about done. Breadcrumbs. Once again, for those who are cooking, please make sure your oven is on 400. Those are ready. All right, give me 1 minute. We're ready to rock and roll, guys. Who else has joined? Hey, Mom, how you doing? Yeah, Ellie, we're going to try to keep it very clean and organized with 3 pots. Hey, Tiffany. Trying to cut down on some of the mess. It may get a little bit busier. Oh, and we will need 1 sauce pot. Did I pull that out yet? So, oven's on 400. 2 pans and 1 sauce pot is what we're going to rock with today. What's going on, Lando? All right, guys, let's get ready. We're going to start off with our red potatoes. That's going to take the most time. So that's what we're going to start with first. All right, let's get it going. So I'll start with my red potatoes. We need rosemary, garlic.
Kyra Brown, welcome. We have another first timer.
I love it. I love it.
Oop. Watch going off, y'all. Sorry.
So for those who did the prep list, you should have already chopped your rosemary. I'm going to do mine real quick. I'll make sure that you have it fine chopped. And we're going to add a tablespoon to your potatoes. If you're feeding more than a few people, you want to double up the recipe. You want to add 2 tablespoons of fresh rosemary to the red potatoes. Make sure red potatoes are in a mixing bowl. The rosemary smells amazing. I know some of y'all have picked your own out of your garden. Kudos to you.
Hey, Georgette.
All right. So fresh rosemary on top of the red potatoes. We're gonna drizzle a tablespoon of olive oil over potatoes. We're gonna season it with salt and pepper, kosher salt, seasoned pepper, and if you're new to this class, you probably just have black pepper. We're gonna use a 1/4 teaspoon of the garlic blend and 1/2 teaspoon of fresh garlic. We're gonna take that, mix it up really well.
Gail says she has a rosemary tree in her garden. Wow.
Yeah, some of y'all are really fancy. I think we're gonna go on a sheet tray or a baking sheet. We're gonna put that right in the oven.
Ari, he did rosemary, garlic, seasoned black pepper, kosher salt, and a garlic blend. And then olive oil. Georgette, you too? I love it, y'all.
So
We need to step our game up, I guess.
we're gonna lay foil on our baking pan. Fresh potatoes right there, well seasoned. We're gonna take that, and if once your oven should be on 400.
Yes, Ari, olive oil. Hey, cousin.
We're gonna throw that in the oven, and we'll let that take about 25 to 30 minutes.
What did you put that on in the oven?
400.
Y'all got that? Should I have stayed over there?
Yeah. So next we are going to talk about chicken and crusting our chicken. So once again, if you follow the prep procedures, You've already pounded your chicken. And if you got thick chicken breasts like I mentioned before, we're going to cut those in half horizontally. So right through the lobe of the breast. Like that. Then we'll do my second one. Now, if some of y'all had a little fat on your chicken, it's okay to kind of trim it off. Keep it clean. And then we'll go right through the lobe again. Horizontal. So it's gonna make it a little bit flatter, a little more easy to manage. Okay, I'm gonna take that, lay my chicken in a Ziploc bag to pound it. And the reason we pound chicken is to make it easier when it cooks. Evenly cooking, faster time.
Wine break.
Who didn't cut their chicken already? Chicken should have already been cut. You ain't gotta say no names today. Ain't gonna get nobody in trouble yet.
How much oil did you add to your pans?
Average about 2 tablespoons.
Georgia, you got that? We're taking a wine break. He's just washing the dishes instead of sipping on wine. For anyone that is new to the class, if Chef Ken is moving too quickly for you, you can just type in wine break. Or you can also just put in like the picture of the wine glass emoji, and that helps us to know that he needs to slow it down a little bit.
Sometimes I get going and I don't even realize.
Yes.
Alright guys, all we did was put potatoes in the oven. The rosemary should have already been cut. Garlic should have already been minced. Your seasoning, laying on a baking sheet and putting it in the oven on 400 degrees.
How long do we leave the potatoes in the oven for?
We're gonna cook it for about 25 to 30 minutes. That's why it's the first thing in the oven.
Ellie, you got that? 25, 30 minutes, guys.
Now right here, it's gonna get a little extra.
Oh, Lord.
So, got my chicken, plastic bag, and we're just gonna pound it. Then. And realistically, if you're only feeding 2 people, 1 breast, if it's the right size, will be enough for both of you. We pounded our chicken. We're gonna get up our breading process. We're gonna go flour, egg wash, and then we're gonna do our pecan breadcrumb mix. So the first container is our flour, and we need a 1/4 cup of flour. We need salt and pepper. And I'm just going to use regular black pepper. Kosher salt. And the second one, we're going to do egg wash. So 2 brown eggs or 2 eggs, depending on what you have. Right here. And then rule of thumb for a good egg wash, for every egg you add a tablespoon of water. That's just gonna kind of loosen it up. So 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of water. Whisk that together. Fork, whisk, whatever's easier for you. We'll just break that. We'll make sure that we incorporate all the yellow with the white of the egg. Like I said, it should be a little loose. We want to make sure that everything is fully incorporated. And then in our last bowl or container, we're gonna do a cup of pecans. And once again, I wanna make sure that you didn't chop them too big or too small. You don't want powder, but you wanna see some coarse pieces in there. That's gonna give a good texture and a good crunch once we sear that off. So in order should be your flour, salt and pepper.
How much flour did you add in there?
That was just a quarter cup. If you're cooking for more people, you might need to add some more. That's gonna be good for 2 breasts. Egg wash is 2 eggs whisked with 2 tablespoons of water. And then my pecan crust is a cup of chopped pecans to a cup of breadcrumbs. Give you 30 seconds to get that ready.
Chef is not a very good one. Is everybody straight on that one? How much breadcrumbs did you add to the...
1 cup of breadcrumbs to 1 cup of chopped pecans.
Toya, you get that? 1 cup breadcrumbs to 1 cup of pecans. Hope I got that right. Kind of just giving everybody a second to catch up if you did not have a chance to get all that laid out.
And then your flour, we're gonna add in a little bit of the seasoned pepper. And in our breadcrumb mix, we're gonna add a little bit of paprika and cayenne pepper to give it a little spice. Mix those all up. We want to get a saute pan going on the stove, medium-high heat, with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're going to do a tablespoon of butter.
What was in the flour mixture?
Flour mixture is salt and pepper and garlic blend.
Salt, pepper, garlic blend. Could I use potato flour instead of all-purpose?
Yes. So mix up our
Just mix
seasoned flour. My egg wash and my breadcrumb mixture. And on the saute pan, I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. That's just going to help give that crust some color.
So their pan should be turned on now.
Correct. I just turned mine on. So it'll take us a little while to crust this chicken. And make sure when it's done that we're going straight into the skillet. So now we are going to 1 breast at a time. We want to make sure that we are pressing the chicken into the flour. We'll make sure each breast is fully coated. We're going to dredge off or shake off the excess. And then just make sure that the whole chicken breast is covered. And that's going to help the egg wash, the chicken stick to the egg wash. So I'm going right in. And rule of thumb is the hand that touches the egg wash is the hand that mixes the chicken with the breadcrumbs. So this will be my flour hand, and this hand will be my seasoning hand. I'm just gonna fold that mixture on top of the chicken. We're pressing down to make sure we get a good crust. Shaking off the excess and flipping over, doing the same thing.
Georgette, the flour was just seasoned with salt and the pepper blend. Garlic blend, sorry.
So your crusted chicken should look similar to this.
Everybody see that? Straight into the skillet. Try to get over here so y'all can see that.
So we always lay away from us. Lay that right there. We're gonna do one more real quick.
Probably would need to take a wine break to give everybody a chance to catch up.
Correct. I want that one. So once again, so make sure that breast is fully covered in flour.
Georgette, did you get that? It's just the garlic blend and salt.
Pepper.
What?
Salt, pepper, and garlic blend.
Salt, pepper, garlic blend. I'm out today.
So once you shake off the excess, we're going right into the egg wash. Just gonna flip it a couple times in that egg wash to make sure it's covered completely. Same thing. Let the excess drip off, and then we'll go right into our pecan crust. And we're just kind of poaching it, pushing down, and folding that crust on top of the chicken. Don't be afraid to press down on it. You really want to make sure that that crust stays on top of it. And once you got a good crust, we're gonna lay it right into the hot skillet.
I'm gonna give everybody a chance to catch up. If you are caught up, go ahead and hit that share button for us.
Got a good color. Now if it starts to brown too fast and your heat is too high, you can always cut it down. Just a little faster. We can add, think about this, you can add in a little bit more oil to make sure that the pecans aren't burning. Like I said, nice crispy crust. And if you feel like your pan is dry, you can always add more butter as well. That butter is giving it the color.
So if it's browning too quickly, they can add more olive oil.
If they're not getting the color they need, they can add more butter. Or if their pan feels dry, because this crust will absorb a lot of moisture, a lot of liquid. So we'll keep that pan coated. So this one cooked kind of fast. I cut it back down. I'm on medium-low heat. This one was a little dry when getting color, so I added butter to it. Just to keep the pan moist. You can really hear that sizzle.
Oh, thank you, Gail. She uses potato flour instead of regular flour to reduce the amount of gluten.
At the end, guys, I'm gonna go around again with olive oil. We're gonna throw that right in the oven. And that's gonna take about 15 minutes. And when you open that oven, you should really smell that rosemary off those potatoes. Next, we're gonna partake in making our bourbon Dijon cream. I'm gonna slow down a little bit, let you guys get caught up. So how you guys feeling?
Y'all all right? Does everybody have everything laid out that they need?
Just a few technical things that we're working on. You smell that rosemary in the oven? You hear that chicken sizzling? If you do, you're doing a good job. If you're not, let us know what's going on so we can help you get to that point.
Yes, Michelle, chicken went in the oven. He browned both sides of the chicken and then he threw it straight into the oven. Janika, I hope I said that right. Yes, it went into the oven. Is everybody okay? Do y'all need more time?
I'll do a little bit of my prep work while everybody catches up. The chef didn't follow directions. How's that chicken looking? If it's browning too fast, cut the oven down. If it's too dry, add a little butter and olive oil to it. And once you have flipped it and got a good sear on the top side, presentation side, add about another tablespoon or two of olive oil and put it in the oven. We're gonna cook it at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. So this pace we're going, the potatoes and chicken should be done right at the same time. Peel my shallots. And we said small dice on this. So 2 horizontal cuts. And just going straight across.
Did everybody get their prep done? Everybody except for Chef Ken here.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't follow directions. And when you don't follow directions, you get behind. So that's why we post it every week. So that cooking is simple, easy, and a good flow. Right? Right. So right here, if you're not making the bourbon cream, which I'm sure most of y'all aren't, then we'll skip a step. But I am. I want that bourbon flavor. All right, so I got 2 diced shallots. We're gonna put that into a sauce pot.
Really, Tamika? Popcorn.
And this is still on medium heat. We're gonna start with just a light drizzle, tablespoon of olive oil. And all we're gonna do is just really sweat those shallots. For those who are not using bourbon, we're going to sweat your shallots for about 2 to 3 minutes. For those who are using bourbon, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup right now and let that bourbon infuse into our shallots and let that cook down. And for those who are using an open flame or a gas stove, be careful when adding your liquor because it will catch on. The alcohol will ignite and you'll have a small flame over your pan where the alcohol is burning off.
So what should they do if that happens?
So you pour it in, you tilt your pan away from you, and you would pour in your alcohol the same way we do when we're putting something into a pan with oil. Let it ignite that way. And then I would always just set it to the back stove and let it continue to cook that way until the alcohol, maybe about 30 seconds, let the alcohol cook off.
So don't panic is what you're saying.
Yeah, we're cooking. You're having fun with it. It's your dish. So I got my liquid in. I'm just gonna let that reduce down for about 2 minutes. For those who are not using bourbon, you can add in half a tablespoon of butter. And once that fully melts, you can add in half a tablespoon of flour. And that's our roux, which is gonna thicken up our sauce. So I'm gonna add in half a tablespoon of butter. Half a tablespoon of flour. And it's gonna thicken up. And once it starts to thicken, comes to a paste, you're gonna add in.
Did we add to the shallots? Yes. You'll go back through it again, Michelle.
So you have a nice little paste right there with your onions or shallots. So you see how thick they are.
How much Burbank? I'm assuming I'm supposed to say bourbon.
That was a 1/4 cup. And then we're gonna add in 1 cup of heavy cream.
Tamika, you a lifesaver, girl. Yes.
And once your shallots and
Thank you, Marissa, for sharing.
your roux starts to thicken up, it's going to make that cream thicker. Hopefully to the right consistency that we're looking for. And if it's too thick, we could add either chicken stock or just a touch of cream or water. So we'll let that cook. We're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of honey. Two tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And the Dijon will pair really well with the pecans, and we added the honey to give it a little sweetness. And you should start to see your color change. So make sure you keep whisking it, and make sure you're hitting the edges and the corners of that pot, scraping down your sides to make sure nothing's sticking, nothing's burning.
There's the bourbon sauce.
Bourbon Dijon cream.
All right, you want to go through it one more time and tell us what we added to there?
So we started with 2 diced shallots. We sweated that down with a 1/4 cup of bourbon. Then we added half a teaspoon of unsalted butter. half a teaspoon of all-purpose flour. One cup of heavy cream. Two tablespoons of Dijon mustard and honey.
And then you just whisked.
Just continuously just whisking, bringing out that color. And once it comes to a slow roll or simmer, we're cutting down to low.
Oh, Lord, y'all, the heat coming off that oven.
We're gonna check our chicken. Might give it a nice little flip. All I'll do is just flip my chicken over. Give about a nice 4 to 5 minutes.
We need a wine break, Chef. I pinned the recipe for y'all. Can y'all see that? Y'all know sometimes it's hard for some of us to see it. So just let me know if you can see that what I just pinned.
And I think if you're on a PC, that just scroll all the way to the top.
Yeah. If you can see that, give us a like or a heart. Gail, how's yours coming along? She said yours was pretty. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comment up here. Okay, good deal, y'all.
All right, and so we're not moving on. Just want to make sure that you're stirring your cream.
Ours is thick.
If it's too thick, add a little bit of chicken stock if you have it, chicken stock or vegetable stock. If you don't have none of those, you can add either a touch of milk or at the very end water, just to kind of cut it.
Anybody else? We're still on a wine break. We got time.
Just want to make sure we're continuously stirring our sauce. I want you to taste your sauce and see what it needs for you. I'm going to add a touch of cayenne because I want to kick to it, and maybe just a little bit of, half a teaspoon more of honey, just to kind of sweeten it up a touch. So I'm going to season with a little bit of kosher salt just to enhance the flavor. I'm going to half a teaspoon, or so half a tablespoon of honey, and then my cayenne pepper. My wife is a spice fanatic, so I want to make sure everything has a kick.
Cameron, did that work? How is it looking?
So you want it thick enough to coat the back of a spoon, but you still want it to have a little body, a little flow to it. So if it's still too thick, like I said, the stock works. And I know, Cameron, I know you have chicken stock and vegetable stock at the house, so that'll cut it and still keep it the flavor it needs to be.
He said that was good.
All right, so taste your Dijon cream. Like I said, if it needs to be a little sweeter, add some honey. Needs a little body, maybe some Dijon mustard. I added a touch of salt to bring out the flavors, and for us, we added cayenne pepper just to add some heat. If you have not already checked your chicken, you just want to check that and make sure you flip it over. We're checking our potatoes. Oh, they're perfect. So you like to cook those to what I like to say smashable, where just with a light push, they kind of give through. They're still hot in the middle, Got good color on them. So check your potatoes. It is time to pull them out the oven. Now if your potatoes are bigger, it might need a little bit longer cooking. But that's why we ask for small potatoes, small red potatoes, for the sake of ease of cooking and time. Potatoes look good, smell good. That rosemary is amazing. Fresh herbs make everything better.
You fancy with the Knob Creek. I would have used Jack.
Well, this one just has a little maple flavor. It doesn't really taste good to drink by itself, so it's only used for cooking. So that's my bourbon that I use for cooking. There is nothing wrong with Jack Daniels. That's a staple, and many people cook with that. But I want to get rid of that Knob Creek. So we want to check our chicken. Push it down. See if it's firm all the way through. If you want to, you can get a knife and just cut a little piece off and open it. And just make sure it's white all the way through. If you can see that.
Yeah.
And another way to check your chicken as well is if you kind of squeeze on it, or if you see the juices that it's emitting is clear, then you know your chicken is done all the way through.
Cameron said they use Knob Creek as well. It's good.
So we're gonna let our chicken rest. How's everybody's sauce? Have you tasted it yourself? Is it exactly what you're looking for?
Ellie said you should try. Oh, you have that. Uncle Nearest whiskey.
Ellie, that whiskey is amazing, and it's only for drinking. We sip on that. That does not go in a pan. It does not go in food. That's a great whiskey by Nearest Grain, and can't do it wrong by cooking with it. All right, check your potatoes. I pulled my potatoes out. I've pulled my chicken out. My sauce is good and it's on low, just kind of simmering. And the last thing we're gonna do is finish up with our green beans. So our last pan is on medium heat. We're gonna start with half a tablespoon of fresh garlic or minced garlic. And we'll just cook that till it's fragrant. And for us, the reason why we blanch our green beans, blanch our vegetables, is just for the sake of time and ease of cooking. Cooking certain vegetables from raw state takes a little bit of time. It can cause uneven cooking. So once you blanch it, all you're doing is bringing it back to temperature, and it saves a lot of time. And we call this just picking it up in a restaurant. We're just picking it up in a hot pan. All right, once that garlic's starting to get color to it, you can smell it throughout the whole house. We're ready to add our blanched green beans. We're going to make sure that everything gets incorporated in that nice garlic oil that we've created. Here I'm going to just use coarse ground black pepper. Kosher salt. And I'm just seasoning to taste. And we talk about vegetables every week. We want to make sure that we are cooking our vegetables to where they're done, but they still have a little break and a little give. They're not mushy. They still have a little body and a little texture. It's what we call al dente. And if you want your vegetables mushy, I can't tell you how to do that. Still stirring. And if you feel like your pan is getting too hot or dry, the garlic's starting to stick to the pan, you can always just add a little bit of water. You gotta keep it clean and kind of steam it as well. How's everything coming together, guys? You happy? Got any questions right now? We're about to get into our favorite part, the most stressful part, and that's plating up.
Don't stress Janae out.
Oh, Janae's been on point. So remember, when we're plating our dish, we want elegant, clean plates. We want to make sure that everything kind of has a flow together. We're not over portioning. We're adding a good color contrast. And it just shows a snapshot of who we are. Like I said, there's no right plate, there's no wrong plate. This is your food and this is your dish. Create it however you want to. Just have fun doing it. And once your green beans are done all the way through, you're ready to go.
Wine break.
Who is that?
Kyra Brown. Kyra, is it Kyra or is it Kira? My sister's name is spelled the exact same way, but it's Kyra. Georgette, the rosemary went on the potatoes when he first put them in the oven. He tossed the potatoes with olive oil, rosemary, salt, garlic, pepper. Was it?
Pepper and garlic blend.
Garlic blend and pepper.
Yep.
And then he tossed it in the oven. Got it. I always like to ask.
If you don't have enough bourbon, you like to add some to your green beans. Joking.
I think you need to say that.
All right, so we're gonna take our first chicken breast.
Kyra, are you okay over there? Did you get it? Get caught up? He's just gonna start plating, so.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm still on your time.
For anyone who is new and joining us today, once you plate up your dish, take a picture, tag Ken in it when you post it to Facebook, Instagram. He likes to showcase those.
I want to see what you guys are doing. I like to track your progress. You know, we have some people that are on week 8, week 9, and their first plate compared to what they're doing now is amazing. We have one student now who's been doing it for a few weeks, or I'm sorry, maybe a few months. And she had realized she had a true passion for cooking, and so she wants to enroll and start culinary school. So you never know what you can learn at home and what your next talent is, your next love. But one thing about cooking, everybody's got to eat, and everybody don't want to cook.
Okay.
so if we're at a good spot, your green beans taste good. And yes, you should have already tasted your own green beans. We're gonna start plating. We're gonna pile up our potatoes right here. My little baby potatoes. Actually, we'll start in the middle. Come on, guys, play fair. It's hard to get round things to sit still. We're gonna take a decent amount of green beans. We'll lay it right on top of the potatoes. We're gonna take our chicken and we're gonna cut our chicken.
Oh, come on.
So we're gonna lay it long ways horizontal, and we're gonna cut our chicken in what we call on a bias. So this is my knife and it's perpendicular. We're gonna kind of lean it at maybe a 45-degree angle, and we're just gonna cut through that chicken at an angle. Lay that right on top. We're gonna take our sauce. That nice thick bourbon cream. And we're gonna kind of drizzle it over your chicken. And then just around the plate. Yeah. If you saved a little bit of rosemary, you can sprinkle a little rosemary on top of your plate. We did not get that far. So that is plate number one. Why are you so angry, green beans? This next one, I'm gonna smash my potatoes a little bit.
Really, Marissa? Thank y'all. They said that looks good.
Smash it. Give it some height. Same thing, we're gonna pick up our green beans. I'm gonna lay that. And then we're gonna take our last breast and I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it 3 times.
Right, Tamika. We all know Chef Ken's fingertips are like heat proof. They're heat resistant.
So I'll lay that right across the front, still intact. This time, I'm gonna keep the presentation of that chicken, so I'm gonna let the sauce pool right under it. Come back around the base of the plate.
There's a second plate, y'all.
So let me know how it turns out, guys. Once again, we thank you for cooking with Chef Ken today. We've enjoyed our class. We will be back next week, 7:30 every Wednesday. If you have any ideas, tag us, send us some thoughts. We might even do jerk egg rolls next week. We've had multiple requests for those, so we might pull that out the bag for next week.
One of the ones making a request will actually probably be starting back up his investment class.
But we've enjoyed having you guys. Thank you very much. Remember, take a picture of your final dish, post it, tag us, and let us know how it goes. And if you've really enjoyed the class, we thank you for your support. Please Cash App, Venmo, whatever, just drop us $1 or a tip or whatever just to say thank you and you appreciate the class. We love you guys and thank you very much. And if you have any more questions, just send me a DM or inbox me. Thank y'all.